from BabaShola's what you shared is very, very key and very, very obvious that you have taken that role very seriously.
There is no point of me being biased. If my daughter does wrong, I will tell her.
Especially in the United Kingdom, there's even financial incentives attached to being a single parent.
Yeah. One of my sons had a girlfriend early on, and it was so obvious in the family that I just liked this girl.
They tend to take charge. When it's the wedding, they are the ones doing
I agree.
And so for maybe peace of mind.
My goal is for my daughter to be happy. If my daughter sees me having a good relationship with her spouse, she'll be glad about that. Yewande.
We're here again. This is my last attempt to fill the summer, because we're now in autumn in the United Kingdom with plenty of rain. So this is plenty of rain. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yes.
Some people let the season weigh them down. They let the season dictate their moods. They let the season affect how they should function.
But it's inevitable. There's actually a condition called SAD, seasonally adjusted disorder. So, BabaShola, don't let us play down these things. They're real topics for other days. Yeah. How does the season affect your mood?
I know
we're happy when we have sunshine and we need vitamin D. So I'm not maybe disagreeing with you. Seasons do affect people.
That was an interesting acronym. I understand that, but it shouldn't. Tires you do have punctured tires when you're on the motorway or when you're driving to a destination. What happens?
Yes, but let's not minimize it. That's my point.
No,
let's not make the people feel like they shouldn't. Yes. Let's just say that.
I know.
We will. For those of you who live in the United Kingdom, we haven't even started our topic. We're arguing already.
And I know that in the United Kingdom, they see us as we always talk about weather.
There's a good reason. Because the weather affects people's moods.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and it's very changeable.
I know it affects people's moods, but what my point is that it should not be a clog in the wheel of progress. Accept it, acknowledge it, because you know what? These seasons will always come. And
let's have your comments. Do you agree we should not allow it? Because when it's raining, you need an umbrella.
Of course.
Preparation is the key.
We are saying the same thing.
But you're harsh, BabaShola. Don't be hard. We should not allow the season to affect you.
Yes.
Oh God. It affects people. The reason I'm wearing my bright color today is I'm trying to reorganize myself that this autumn, this rain, this very dull season is coming. So I'm being deliberate. But not everybody can be like that. Yes. So let's have mercy on them.
We can work towards being in charge of the season.
Very good point. Let's work towards being in charge. So do you get sad during the autumn and winter? Are you somebody? Yes.
Do you know how long the seasons are? Summer and autumn and winter, and you get sad throughout that season. Yewande.
But I'm talking from experience, BabaShola. People get sad, people get lonely, people get depressed. And this is why we're doing this podcast, to help people to navigate these seasons. That's why some people, when it's winter time and they have coins, they travel to another part that is warmer.
What about for those that don't have coins?
Exactly. And this is why we should look for solutions and say, this is how we deal with it, rather than you shouldn't let it bother you. That is my point. It's not that you didn't make a good statement. But it came across.
It was how it came across.
Yes, please. It came across very judgmental and harsh.
No. I didn't mean it to be judgmental. I just mean it to. And sometimes you actually need that hard word to shake you up, and then we need your word to say, okay, I understand what you're saying. However,
Okay, so we have just done that. So if you suffer from seasonal adjusted disorder, it's called SAD for short.
Season adjusted disorder.
It's either seasonal. Yes. It's either seasonal affected disorder or seasonal adjusted. But the acronym is SAD. Please educate us, you medical people, because I know that I meet people with that condition. They're very depressed during the winter. And that is the term. As you know, in the Western world, we have a name for everything. There is a name for everything. Some justified, some is just a way of helping people to think about, why am I so depressed in the winter? Even if I had the needs, I'd be going away for 6 months and come back when it's summer.
And you see why this podcast, make sure you just send it to your friends and family, whatever, and see that BabaShola was hard on this podcast. Yewande was
well, we always talk about tone of voice that we talk about, and you know we are very but you just started like that and you are saying you should not allow the seasons to affect you. Come on, it is inevitable. When I was dressing this morning, I said, it's been raining all night. I've just come back not long from holiday. Let me feel that holiday spirit a bit more.
It's interesting, you know. And when I woke up this morning, I just said, wow, rain, that's lovely. I love the rain. I get on with it.
That's it. That's a perspective. And we're thankful that you are in a place where you have enough support. You have a loving wife. You have children that are supportive. You live in a family setting. These are all the things that helps us to make better decisions. And this is why you cannot do life alone. So coming to our topic, father-in-law. You can't do life alone. You need your father-in-law. For those of you who are married with children.
Because we tend to talk about mother-in-law all the time.
Yes. So mother-in-law jokes, mother-in-law. And we have already done a podcast on it. So if you've not seen what did you call it? Mother-in-law. Is your mother-in-law from heaven or from hell?
Yeah.
We're going to put it up. Let's put this one up so that people can see the balance. Because we just thought it needs a balance.
Definitely.
So, as you are the father figure in this relationship, what's your take? And are you a father-in-law already, or to be?
I'm a father-in-law already, and to be as well. And I just believe that the role of a father-in-law, well, the first thing is,
what do you do as a father-in-law? What is it that you do that makes you feel like, I didn't used to do this before I became a father-in-law?
Okay, so this is,
and maybe a father-in-law before and after.
Yeah, so this is where I differ. To me, father-in-law is a tag. The husband to my daughters, my goal would be to have a relationship with them, to take them as my sons, because the way I relate to my son, I do not want it to be different from, it won't be exactly the same in the sense that, listen, they've grown up with me, I brought them up, from when they were young, compared to the person that's just coming into the family via my daughter. So my role as a father, that is an in-law to my daughter's husband, would be to encourage him to see me as a father first and foremost. Because if he sees me as a father-in-law, there will not be that freedom to express his views. And I mean, I'm already developing a relationship with with one of my sons who is an in-law, whereby he can come at any point in time. And I'm trying to develop a relationship with the other son, whom I've told that, listen, my door is open 24/7. However, he's still not sure how to take that. Yeah, how to take that.
That's really interesting, because I'm thinking about the fact that what does father-in-law mean? So it means that father that you have acquired by law. So it's not like they were your biological father. And it's the point that came out for me as you were speaking is that, firstly, I commend you, BabaShola, for actually wanting to reach out to your sons-in-law in that way. And we'll look at it as well from a woman's perspective who's acquiring a father-in-law. And what was going through my head is, as you were talking, is that are those two men that you talk about, do they actually have a father of their own that they relate to? Because I have a sneaky suspicion that depending on whether they have a father that they relate to, either biological or one that they grew up with like a father, may affect the way they're relating to you. So like the second one, son that you're saying that he's still working it out, have a think. Do you think that if they maybe had a biological father or not, do you think it impacts on how they relate to your offer?
Interesting point. The one that I'm encouraging to, to see me as a father and someone we can approach at any point in time has a father. The other one sadly doesn't have his father passed on. So the other one, I would suspect, going from the point you've made, would readily embrace me and see me as a male figure in his life.
Okay, the one that doesn't have a father.
The one that doesn't have a father.
Yeah.
And that is the one that I have a relationship with, that I can call upon, that
it's
I can
closer
call him.
to you.
Yeah, it's closer to me. It can come to my house, it can ring me, it can send me messages, there's no inhibition.
And I'm wondering whether that feels like he has acquired a male figure in his life maybe he didn't have when he was growing up. Is that a possibility?
Yes,
so this is something to consider, guys, especially in diaspora. I noticed that there's a lot of tendency of moms bringing up children by themselves. So single parenthood, or maybe the man has deceased. It's just also, especially in the United Kingdom, there's even financial incentives attached to being a single parent, to the point that some people will even have one partner in decorum, and they will not say that they have one for financial gain. But that being aside, being a male figure, which is where I'm going, being a father-in-law, being a father is a very, very important role for a man. Because how do you learn how to be a husband to your daughters, for example? Hopefully, your relationship with him would help him to treat your daughter with respect and dignity.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that is the goal. And that is why, not wanting to use the word selfish, but again, when you really look at it, my daughter has to be happy. My goal is for my daughter to be happy. If my daughter sees me having a good relationship with her spouse, she'll be glad about that. And so I always have that at the back of my mind as well. That I need to let this guy know that I'm there for you. Yes, you are married to my daughter, and I will do anything. And as I always tell them, there is no point of me being biased. If my daughter does wrong, I will tell her that she does wrong.
And that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that point up, because in the mother-in-law scenario, sometimes there's a lot of biases, especially with mothers and sons, mothers and their sons.
Yeah.
So in your case, you've talked about being a father-in-law to the sons because you have obviously daughters, from what you're saying. So I'm wondering that what about being a father-in-law to a daughter that is not your biological? You understand? And you have sons, right?
I have sons.
So just think about that. How would you be a father-in-law to a son, a daughter?
Let me give you.
That is not your biological.
Definitely. Let me give you a snippet as to how I would relate to my daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law. One of my sons had a girlfriend early on, and it was so obvious in the family that I just liked this girl. I just took her as a daughter.
Yes.
It was, my daughter was telling me that, man, that. So that was me. I just
You just embrace
I just embrace that.
And that's the thing. Sometimes parents draw towards a particular girlfriend or a boyfriend. And did that put pressure on your son?
It didn't put pressure on my son. My son was actually happy, and my son, my son and the girlfriend at the time, they always have that banter amongst them that my dad really likes you, and then she says, yeah, because it's my father-in-law, things like that early on.
And did she have a biological father?
Oh, yeah, biological father, parents.
Yes,
definitely. And parents knew the kind of relationship myself and my wife had with her.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that potentially is what I would call marriage material. You know why? Remember, we've done podcasts about should you marry into a family?
Yeah,
because that they're not feeling you,
and red flags as well.
And that is potentially red flag. So this sounds like a positive thing. They may not have ended up getting married, but the point is there were good vibes all around, and that automatically opens up the possibility of parents being able to be involved during the courtship, sharing their own, 2 pence, let's just call it that, of how things were. It just makes, I could see the smile on your face even when you were talking about it.
Yeah.
So father-in-laws are very important if, you are considering marriage or a long-term relationship. Because if you didn't have a biological father, it's an opportunity to acquire one.
Definitely.
And if they don't like you, well, that's stories for other days.
Yeah.
Some father-in-laws leave it all to the mother-in-laws. They don't get involved.
I don't know why though.
And I think because mother-in-laws tend to be, again, this is a generalization. It's not everyone that's like that. They tend to take charge. When it's the wedding, they are the ones doing the,
I agree.
And so for maybe peace of mind.
I agree. One of the things I mentioned to my daughters is that I'm not going to be the father that would invade their privacy. Just come at any point in time or whatever. And my daughters have actually told me that doesn't mean that we are not going to see you at all, because they know me. Yes. That I'm just going to be far away from them. But anything that would make the relationship work, I'm there to support them.
And that's why we're appealing to you. Do you have any experience of being a father-in-law? Have you thought about being a father, or just a male role model? Not model, let's just not be too heavy, because real role model has been overused and abused. It doesn't mean that it's been flogged. A male figure in the life of your young people who are courting or getting married, because they actually don't know what it's like to be a father anymore. We're living in a society where men want to be women and women want to be men. Podcast for other days. How do you know what it is to be a man, to be a father, to be a mother, and not to be an interfering one, to be a supportive one?
Definitely.
From BabaShola's, what you shared is very, very key and very, very obvious that you have taken that role very seriously. And hopefully you'll update us as time goes on. Because when you said want to be, it means that I can hear wedding bells.
Yes.
Wedding bells. What girls like wedding bells.
That's another topic on its own.
We girls, we like it too. Put it in the comment if you don't like it. Of course, there's a difference between wedding and marriage.
Definitely.
Yes. But thank you for sharing your perspective.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Yewande brought up that topic, father-in-law. Even though we did say,
we did say that we were going to do that.
And I hope that has been of
yes. And please let us have your thoughts. Fathers are very important. Whether it's father-in-law, father, brother, male figures. And I have this saying that black men are an endangered species for different reasons. But we'll unpack that in another episode.
Well done.
Thank you.